what we say is your best is yet to come.
I
If
agree.
your best is yet to come, you got to be playing out and not shrinking in.
Did you push record?
Thank you so much for tuning into our second act with Paige and Silka. Today is our expert segment day again, and I'm so happy to welcome Daryl Gurney back to the program. Daryl, thanks for joining me again.
Glad to be here, Silka.
I am excited about our topic today. We often say that we live what we bring you on Second Act TV. And today we are going to bring you what we're living and what you're living, especially because you just got married again. Congratulations.
I did. Thank you so much. Really excited about it.
Those of you who missed some of our segments or are not familiar with Daryl is a life, love, career, business. He's a reinvention coach, or I'm not supposed to say reinvention. A starting over coach. We'll talk about that. See what I mean by that. But we'll link to our previous segments.
Sure.
The platform of which you base your philosophies, your teaching, your coaching, is that the first 40 years is what prepared us for what we really came to do. So today, let's apply that to relationships, because so many people are afraid to start over again, to take that step that you just did, that I'm in the process of doing, of finding love again and really opening yourself up to being vulnerable again. Let's talk about that. How do you get over that fear? How do you deal with that?
Well, let me say a couple things about everything you've said so far, because we probably have a whole topic just in what you just, a few things you said. Number one, when you talked about reinvention or starting over. So just for people who haven't maybe seen earlier episodes, in the back 40, we say, there's no starting over and there's no reinventing, because we say, like you said, that the first 40 or 50 years is just R&D, research and development for who you came here to be and what you came here to do. So all of the stuff that's occurred, no mistakes, nothing bad, nothing wrong. It's all been getting on the playing field of what your purpose is and what you came here to fulfill. So another thing you just said was, you're in the process of finding love again. Now, again, I never want to diminish any of our past relationships, okay? And never want to diminish, our learning curves and stuff. But I'll just challenge you a little bit. What if you're finding love? What if you're not finding love again, but you're finding love? In other words, like I said, not to diminish anything, but what if past relationships were practice? What if, like you said, I just got remarried. This is I say it's my second and last. It's her third and last. But I got to tell you, it's funny. When we've been together for 4.5 years and we just got married a couple months ago. But in the beginning, I used to say to Alexandra, wow, we're really blessed. We're really lucky that we found this perfect partnership later in life. She says, well, what if we just earned it?
What a great way to look at it. Yes.
Yeah, because, because she and I, one of the things we have in common is personal development. We've both really, really worked on ourselves. I was married for 5 years. That ended in 1996. I was single for 18 years.
It's a long time.
Until getting together with Alexandra. She was married for 8 years. Then she was married for 14 years. And then we got together. So we went different paths. Most of mine was single. Most of hers was married. But what we both really subscribe to is who we got to become through the process of those relationships. And that's where it really fits with our back 40 philosophy, because if everything prior to 40 and 50 is just R&D, not just in your career, but in every aspect of life. Well, what if the first 40 or 50 years you were just getting on the playing field of what love really is, or of what real partnership looks like?
Well, that's a fantastic way, of course, to look at it, reframe it, because especially on our program, we do a lot on love and relationship, as you know, and some of the comments that are left, especially on YouTube, where people tend to be a little bit more ugly about stuff. Oh my goodness, there's jaded people. It's very,
Yeah.
very sad. And if you reframe, as you're suggesting, how you look at that, that could be very helpful.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. The word relationship really at its root means, who am I in relationship to you? See, we come into the world, and there's a great book, by the way, by Daphne Kingma, called Coming Apart: Why Relationships End and How to Survive the Ending of Yours. I used it, or my ex-wife and I used it when we divorced. We gave it to everybody in our family, and we said, please don't relate to this like a failure. Relate to it the way this woman in the book relates to it. And what she basically proposes is, you come in alone and you leave alone. You're not going with anybody else. You're going out of here alone, right? And in between, there's discovering who you are. And the best way to discover who you are is in relationship. When you're in, who am I in relationship to you? So therefore, if people can look at their past relationships, and, we have a process in the Back 40 and the book that's coming out and in our programs, where you really look at it like a laboratory. Mm-hmm. Like, what if it was a laboratory and you set it up for you to get to discover who you are and what your direction is in life? And if you can go back and look at it that way, there's no jadedness that's possible, because you invented it all, and you brought in the players, and you brought that guy into your life, or you brought that gal into your life, so as to give you a laboratory to discover who you are. So then there's no jadedness, there's no one to forgive, there's no one who harmed you, because you set it all up. And again, it all comes down to this. The tendency as we get older is to close down. We got hurt, things happen, and we decide that that's the way men are. That's the way women are. That's the way relationships are. And therefore, we go into being a turtle and not sticking our head out anymore. We're risk averse. Yeah. What we're playing for in the Back 40, if what we say is, your best is yet to come.
I agree.
If your best is yet to come, you got to be playing out and not shrinking in, taking risks and being willing to discover new things other than what you've experienced before. Like, oh, there's really good men out there. Oh, there's really amazing women out there. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I think the theme that I'm hearing with exactly what you just said, what Paige said on our interview, and what other relationship experts have said, it's about taking responsibility. If you take the responsibility and learn from that, then that automatically, I think, shifts that being jaded to, how did I contribute to this? How can I fix this? Daryl, we're coming to the end of this first segment. My time with you is always so fast. Now, obviously, we're going to hold you over, and I'm wondering if we can give us some tips on the next segment of, how to release, perhaps, I think you called it the imprints of what a man or a woman, all women are like this, how to get over that. And another thing I want to ask you to ponder, is it okay to be alone? Maybe your first 40 years, prepared you that it's okay not to be in what maybe many of us consider a traditional relationship. I'm going to let you think about that for a second while I sign off and ask you if there's anything else that you want to leave us with on this segment.
I just can't wait to jump into the next segment. Those are juicy things to talk about.
Okay. Daryl, thanks. We'll see you next time on Our Second Act with Paige and Silka.